Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I want to welcome you back to another episode here on the Fit Mother Project podcast. In just a moment, you're about to hear a positive and inspiring conversation between myself and one of our Fit Mother program members, Paulie Rodrigue. See, for years, Paulie was very into exercising. She would get into group fitness classes and follow along, and those workouts were great for her. But as she got older, she found that she wasn't recovering as much from exercise. She was gaining weight, and the weight number on the scale was just stressing her out. And she was looking for a program that answered all of her questions around nutrition, strength training, cardio, and how everything would fit together for her inside a program she could actually follow, one that was simple, sustainable, and holistic. And it actually took a scary situation that Paulie is going to mention inside this episode, and I won't steal the thunder, that gave her a little bit of a wake-up call to really find the Fit Mother Project and invest in this program and transform her health. And that's exactly what Paulie did. She's gone through all of the phases, phase 1 through phase 4 of our Fit Mother 30X program series. And the changes she's made are absolutely incredible. She is stronger. She's more energetic. Her mind is more balanced. There's not as much mental chatter. She's able to show up as the best version for her daughters, for her husband, and for the kids she teaches at school. So this is an amazing conversation that really showcases the holistic changes that you can make when you get a comprehensive program like the Fit Mother Project. And Paulie, I know you're going to be listening to this at some point. We are just so proud of you for diving into this program head first, for treating this with such intention, and your results speak for themselves. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode with Fit Mother, Paulie. All right, Paulie, welcome officially to the Fit Mother Project podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here, Dr. A.
So to kick things off, I would love for you to introduce yourself to all the ladies listening, your name, your age, where you're from, and anything you'd like to share about your family and what you do for work.
Sure. I would absolutely love to do that. My name is Paulie, and I am 53 years old. I live in Harleysville, Pennsylvania. I have 2 wonderful daughters who inspire me. They're strong and smart. And I have a great supportive husband who also is so wise and helps me along. I have been working recently for the last 5 years as a high school building substitute teacher, which has been so much fun. For 16 years before that, I was a stay-at-home mom, which I love doing. And then before that, I worked in marketing and sales at a large pharmaceutical company.
Nice. Well, that's a lot of life experience, I'm sure, in those different phases and stages of life. And I know this because we were chatting before we actually hit the record button that you're now an empty nester. This has been a transition phase for you. Your girls are in college now. So please tell us a little bit about what that's been like.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous about what was it going to be like because we really center our lives around the girls. And we have wonderful Fit Mother meals that I was making every night. And my one daughter is a vegetarian. So we would build tofu into the meal as well. And it was a big focus of our time. And it was so funny. We dropped off my daughter in DC and then the other one in Boston. And my husband turns to me and says, "Honey, are you still going to be making meals?" So I was like a little surprised, but I was like, of course, I am a Fit Mother. We are going to continue with this. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And I bet he's really happy about that. So it sounds like he's been pretty happy with the food that you've been eating and preparing as a part of this program.
And he has one night that he makes meals too. So that's great.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's rewind a little bit. And why did you start to take your health a little more seriously or search for a program, or what was going on before you found Fit Mother Project? What were you looking for and how'd you basically find us?
Sure. So I would like to say that with my family, every summer we take a vacation, and it's usually at the beach, which means wearing your bathing suit or, clothes that are showing a lot. And so I every year have like an idea in my head come December/January. Okay, I better start making sure that I'm going to be able to have the confidence to be on the beach and be myself. And be able to be me with my family and not having half my brain thinking about, oh gosh, do I look okay? And what should I be eating or drinking? So anyway, my whole life, even starting as a teenager, my mom let me join Weight Watchers. And so I've been very careful about my weight, since I was young. went to college, gained a lot of weight, went back to Weight Watchers, and was successful with that for a time being. Then I went through pregnancy, gained a lot of weight, and that was fine and great. And then when I hit 40, I actually realized, gosh, I'm 40. There aren't that many years left to really look good on the beach. So let's get serious. And I took my nutrition seriously, and I threw myself into the exercise world at this point. So I was really into, and I love exercise. I'm one of these people that just loves fitness. And so I would go to my gym and I would 4 or 5 days a week do these high intensity classes like kickboxing, boot camp, and what was the other one? Step. And they're so grueling and I loved them. I thrived in them. Also, I was doing 5K races, trying to get on the podium, win those medals. So really trying to get fast at 5Ks. And I did Spartan races. I did a half marathon. So, I've always been trying to achieve, and this was important to me because I wanted to be successful and be a role model for my girls. And then what started happening to me, Dr. A, is that in my later 40s, I could no longer do one of those intense classes or do a really fast run and then feel good the next day. It was taking me a lot longer to recover. And I started having to do them less and less because of my recovery time. Because I guess as you get older, it gets harder to recover. So I was bumping into that in my 50s where I was like, gee, I can't control how I look, based on my fitness alone. So I started searching for things. I did not find anything good. I was like, where are the programs for women over 40 that are going to be intense so that I can get my weight down? And I just hated how the scale weight was going up, 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 up. And this was like in November. So Christmas was coming. So I actually asked my husband, hide the scale for me. I don't want to see the scale. And I asked him to get me a body fat scale for Christmas because I was thinking, maybe my weight's going up, but maybe my body fat is going down and this is all muscle, right? But so I received the gift, but I could not open that scale until February because I just knew what the results were going to be. So I was like, gee, is this going to be me now? And the doctor had said, yeah, this is what happens to women as they get older, so I was like, oh, gee, I have 2 more years with my girls at home before they go to college. Is this really going to be me on the beach, like unconfident? So I'm starting to panic about how am I going to do this? And then what happened was I ended up having emergency appendix surgery. So I was in the hospital for 2 nights. And what I was doing while I was in the hospital, I was thinking, gee, this is actually great. I'm fasting now. I'm on 24, 48, 72 hours fasting. Maybe I can get on the scale when I get out of here and it will be favorable, So I came out and sure enough, I was a little lower. I was a lot lower actually. And then unfortunately, of course, in 2 weeks, it started to tick back up. And I was at my top weight in February. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I only have, it's February, March, April, May, June, that's going to be bathing suit time. So I was in a panic and I decided, you know what? I looked at Dr. Anthony's videos on YouTube. I saw this great one that you did. It was the full body dumbbell workout for women. Yeah. Okay. And the way you just explained each of those moves so professionally and like executed them so well and told me how not to hurt myself in each move, it was so sound and was full of so much science. And I could tell you had a great background in this. And it was for women. Like I loved that. I thought that was so special. And so I saw that. And then I also researched your program a little bit more and saw that you included bread on the program on Fit Mother. So
that's what told you.
I love bread. Yes. Give me bread, please. I love my carbs. They make me feel good. So the strength training that you were offering, because I've always been curious. You always hear, you don't have to run miles. You can do strength training. I'm like, I've tried that, but it just hasn't worked for me. And I don't really know how to do it. I've heard of progressive overload, but what about for women? I don't have any guidance there. And I saw that the Fit Mother program may, be able to help me lose weight and then perhaps get into the whole strength training, the magic of strength training, which I wanted the magic of strength training so much.
And I have a sense that you may have the magic of strength training now, or at least like a lot more of that magic. So I want to ask you, you were looking for something that you believe is going to help you with nutrition, with the bread. And now you know there's strength training, and you knew that I at this point had known my stuff from the free stuff you consumed. What was it like when you joined the program? Because I imagine it was probably a little more in depth than you might have thought, with like some mission statement stuff, with some other things. Did that come as a surprise to you? And what was it like getting started on the Fit Mother program?
Oh my goodness. To be honest, when I first clicked yes, I quickly tried to unsubscribe. So, but luckily it was Saturday. And so I got all the materials and I had 2 days to read all of the materials. And I love information. I've been craving and looking and seeking information, just like you put together my whole life. I've been looking for this program my whole life. I'm sorry, it's just a little emotional because I really have been looking for something like this all my life. And I've just been trying to piece it together, but you have the whole thing. So the first thing that happened to me was I said, wow, all my questions are being answered as I'm reading. I'm saying, yes, I love this, and I love this. And here is what we're buying at the grocery store. Awesome. I love all these things. And then the magic of these creative workouts with weights, and they have these cool names. So I just thought that was the best. So the first thing that came my way, I think, was that you asked us to start hydrating right away.
For sure.
I was like, what? You're going to ask me to drink 32 ounces of water first thing in the morning? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Pause for a sip of water.
For sure. It seems very appropriate.
I'd heard about drinking a lot of water, but I was like, first thing in the morning. So that's the first thing I started doing, was drinking 32 ounces of water in the morning. At first, it's hard, but you know what the secret is? You just need to sit in a comfortable place, like in front of your TV, watching the news, and then drink the whole thing quickly, knowing that you have coffee coming up next.
Yep.
And then let me tell you, at my job, I used to need a cup of coffee at lunch. I don't need that anymore when I'm drinking this water. So magically that transformed me. And I started getting all kinds of water bottles, not just this one, but many of them, so that I would have all 3 or 4 filled and be ready to go. So anyway, that was great. I also heard from you, one of the things was do 3 things that you're grateful for in the morning. This was journaling right away. Mm-hmm. So, as I was saying before earlier, I was in a dark place when I would get on the scale, and sometimes it would take me 2 or 3 hours to pump myself up and say, it's going to be okay. You're going to find a plan. But now my mindset in the morning is so positive, and it comes from the first habit that I have, which is I get my cell phone out and I open the notes section and I write 3 things I'm grateful for. And I have this in every month. I have a note for every month. And that just really transforms me into a positive mindset right away. So I go downstairs and I say hi to my husband, who's already been up to make coffee. But this is early. This is 6 a.m., but I get my water. I sit down. I chug it. I have my coffee. I have my lunch and breakfast already packed from the night before. So anyway, I'm very organized now. I'm streamlined. I'm organized. I'm not questioning, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I eating? Am I eating carbs? And am I not eating carbs? Am I doing cardio today because what the scale said? Or can I strength train? All this was buzzing in my head. Half my brain was taken up by this chaos of what do I do? What do I do? And you answered it. Every day I received a wonderful email with a different tip. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite tips was, maybe you should meditate for 5 minutes before you leave for work. And then it's like a nice transition phase. So when you arrive at work, you will be calm and ready to receive anything. Now, as a substitute teacher, that is very key. I have to be ready for anything. I don't know what I'm walking into. And what I've found that the meditation really does is it lets me fill my bucket so that I'm in a calm place and then I can react professionally or appropriately. So anyway, that was a great tip. I also, the main quote, I guess, that kept coming up and was so relevant to me is, you can't out exercise a bad diet. Hello. Like, I needed to hear that as many times as you were going to tell me that, because I realized, okay, the nutrition has to come first. And Amy Spock, all of her emails say 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. So I'm like, okay. So I was learning that this whole first month. I was learning. And guess what? Maybe I didn't quite learn it because then Apex knocked me down to where I got injured. So I couldn't do the workout. My back hurt too much. I realized I went a little too heavy on those upright rows. I probably had my back arched. So every which way it was teaching me, slow down, focus on nutrition. So in month one, it's really about learning the program and buying the correct foods. Okay, figuring out what your favorite proteins are. Protein is king. Mine is chicken breast. I found great recipes for how to roast chicken breast and to roast all these veggies on sheet pans in the oven. You can do it all at one time.
Yeah.
I have a spray bottle with not canola oil, with avocado oil and in it, and you spray the vegetables and put seasonings on there, and it makes it very easy.
Yeah.
So month one, I was really focusing on perfect plates and also the shake. I had never actually made shakes before. Can you believe that? I had never had chia seeds before. I was like, what's up with these chia seeds? And boy, they're a superfood. So
for sure.
Yeah. And they have a lot of fiber, which is so nice. Yeah. So I basically have chia seeds pretty much every day, make sure of that.
Nice.
And let's see. That was month one for me. What else happened in month one? I had a lot of non-scale victories happening, but the scale, because I didn't have a whole lot of weight to lose, it went up by a pound in the first week. Okay. And I wasn't sure why, but I was like, okay, I feel great. Let's keep going. So then I lost a pound the next week. So I was back at ground zero. Then the next week, I stayed the same. And guess what? It was on day 28, the end of week 4, that I had a whoosh and I lost 4 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Okay. So what had me hang in there, right? Not only was this the program, but it was really the ladies on Facebook, my friends on Facebook, all these great mentors I had that have lost so much weight, and they're such big believers in this program. And I put out a message because I was like, oh gosh, I'm starting to question, myself. Is this the right program for me? And I indicated on there that I was gaining weight. And right away, I think I had 5 or 6 women telling me, this is normal. Hang in there. Don't worry. It's going to come off. Just be consistent, And I was like, really? I was kind of skeptical, but then I stayed on with it. And actually in the first month, I also did a Zoom call because Amy was hosting those. So God bless her for doing those. That's great. I'm a social person, so I love to do things on teams. And this is like an individual deep dive program plus a team environment. So it's so nice. So they reassured me, and sure enough, I had that whoosh happen. So that was month one. And by then I was like, this is the best program ever. Like, wow, I cannot believe it is helping my nutrition. It's getting everything streamlined. It's helping my workouts. They're so creative and clever, and I love doing them. I actually made my own whiteboards based on your whiteboards that were so pretty that you would have. So I made my own and, checked them off.
Nice.
And then, so the nutrition, the fitness, and then the mindset, you really are healing my mindset and making me a positive able to be the positive person that I always wanted to be. That's what this
Mhm.
program has really done, is it helps me know what habits I can have every day. And they're, it takes some practice, but once you get them down, um, this is the way of life. And it is a wonderful way of life. It is so nice. You are at rest, you're restful,
Mhm.
and you can handle adversity. So I was going along with my Fit Mother program, doing really well, and it was probably month 6. So I was really thriving, and I had gotten down to my lowest weight, even lower than my wedding weight. I know. Can you believe that? So anyway, I was really confident with the program. Workouts are going great. Meals are going great. And then I get news that my daughter needed to have surgery because her thyroid was too big, or she had a growth on it. And this made me so scared. I was terrified. But what I said to myself was, you're a fit mother and you have all in place how to live. So all you need to do is be a great mother right now. Just be there, be a supportive mother to your daughter as she's going into this surgical procedure. And we don't know what the outcome's going to be. So I don't know, I can pray, but what I can also do is create a nice, safe, kind, and gentle environment, because I have all of the tenets of the Fit Mother program. I know what meals I'm going to be making for my family. I know I'm going to pack water bottles, fill my water bottles up to go down to the hospital. We're going to have healthy snacks, bringing those Quest bars. We found, and it turned out great. We found a nice salad bar during the surgery. So my husband and I were able to be kind and gentle to each other, because I was being kind and gentle to myself through the program. And that's like, I can't even thank you enough for that. Like, you've made me such a great mother, because I've been freed of, what do I do now? How do I do this? Because I have a lot of structure now in my life. Like, I know what's for dinner every night of the week. We have a whiteboard. Like, there's a whiteboard in the basement for my workout. I have a whiteboard in the kitchen, Sunday through Saturday. What are we having for dinner?
That's so good.
Thank you.
I love that.
And at first that was hard to do. It's like, what's going to be for dinner? It was like a chore. Now I'm like, oh yeah, we'll have this and this and this, because they're on the rotation of the meals that we've been getting used to having. So That's been great.
Very powerful. And how's your husband been in step with this whole thing in transformation? Like, what's it been like for him?
It's always so much easier to have a wife, a calm wife, one who knows what is for dinner, one who is not trying to make something that she has no idea what ingredients are in the house, So
it's gotten easier for him over time as you've gotten more confident, competent, and in the groove, I imagine.
Yes. And also, he loves grocery shopping. So I prepare the list every Sunday, and he's so happy to go up and do all the shopping. At first, I had to say that ORG, that means organic, please get me the organic. But he's been able to find great deals, and we've been saving money because we don't waste food. He's the shopper. He brings home the food, and then I cook it. Except for the one night he does Hank's Burger Bar for us.
Nice.
So grass-fed beef. Anyway.
Well, what I'm really hearing is pulling out some themes here is just like the interaction between the mind and the body for you, and the clarity that you got was like that bridge. You got a clear plan, and I was able to kind of ease some of the mental chatter and the anxiety along with the meditation, which fed into being more consistent with routines, which improved your body and energy, which fed back into a more positive mindset. And then you got this like motivation and energy loop moving forward in your life. And now, and you've been tested, which I think is an important thing too. Tested in that early injury, tested with a thyroid with your daughter. And I think when you go through those tests, it just gives you more solidity, and it gives you even more confidence, because it's not just like I have this plan and it works when things are good, but I have this plan and it works, and it can help me when things get a little bit tough. So that's like a powerful journey that you've been on. This like vehicle of your new Fit Mother lifestyle is like really taken you to good places. So I want to ask you, like, what's next? Like, what's in store for you the rest of this year, heading into next year? It's going to be January, and you're going to be thinking about the upcoming, bikini season or the swimsuit season. So, like, what's coming up in the next couple months and a year ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when I finished phase 3 and I was moving into phase 4, I'm in phase 4 now. So
congratulations, by the way, which is
thank
awesome.
you.
And now it's a real holistic look, right? Now looking at your life even bigger picture than you were before.
And part of me did not want to leave the earlier phases because it was so structured and I loved that for me. Mm-hmm. So going into phase 4, it is more about me building my programs. But guess what? I think that you do have the secret sauce for how I could actually have an even better life than when I finished the 3 phases. When I finished the 3 phases, I was very lean. I was at my lowest. Like I said, I was even lower than my wedding weight. So I did transition to strength training, and I trusted you that this might work. And I'd always had such a bad relationship with the scale, it could really depress me if I was gaining any kind of weight. So I didn't really want that to happen, but I set off on the upper lower body split workouts. Mm-hmm. And I would do an upper body workout, then I would take a day off, then I would do a lower body, then I would take a day off. Mm-hmm. Then I would do a different upper body workout, take a day off, different lower body workout, and then repeat. And I did that for 4 solid months. And I would be getting on the scale too. So I would be like, okay, I'm not gaining any weight. I'm sticking with it. But then like the next month, I am up a little bit, but I'm like, maybe that's muscle, And so I was just like, you know what? I can take this through to March because I know I started Fit Mother in March before. I can probably take off the weight if I need to. So I just kept going with the strength, kept going, loved doing the pull-ups, assisted pull-ups. That was all new for me. And lots of squatting, deadlifting, rows. Oh my gosh, I improved my form on the rows so much because I videoed myself for every single workout so I could compare your video to my video to see that I'm doing the form correctly.
That's really smart.
And I got better and better at it, at the form. I look back now and I say, wow, my form is so much better. So I tried to get my form better, tried to progress on my weights, switched up the program every 4 to 6 weeks. And I could not believe it. By June, when it was time to go to my bathing suit, truth be told, okay, this is going to be hard for some people to hear, but I was 5 pounds more than the prior summer, but I looked so much better. And this is the other thing. I could eat like the boys some days, like wings and beer. Like, this is a miracle. Like, I am so grateful that you showed me this method of strength training because my body now, I'm like bigger on I've grown stronger on my upper back and stronger on my glutes, like a lot of hip thrusts, heavy hip thrusts. And so my glutes are bigger and my upper back is bigger. So then I'm leaner all in my waist. And yeah, the 2-piece bathing suit
sounds
is
fantastic.
working.
I mean, it's like everyone would be like, sign me up. I mean, it's really cool. And what you just described is the fact that you have more muscle. You have a better metabolic engine now because you have been doing the strength training, and that translates into more flexibility with the nutrition, which keeps you motivated. And so you want to strength train more. And that's just awesome. I'm curious, do you have any like specific strength improvement numbers in terms of like maybe a squat or a deadlift or a row or a pull-up or anything like a before and after snapshot of maybe some specific gains that were made?
Right. Well, I would definitely say that my rows, when I started this program, I really didn't see the point of doing single arm rows. I wasn't didn't really feel it. But then when I just changed my form, and I guess we do those renegade rows, right? So my strength with rows has gone from first starting with 5 pounds to 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 25. I am now rowing 35 pounds. Like,
nice.
That's where I've really seen a huge improvement. Also I used to really detest Bulgarian split squats, right?
Yeah.
I do like these moves that are separated. Like I like, what do they call that? Unilateral or
Like unilateral movements. Yeah.
yeah, because they have balance focused, which also helps with the whole mental meditation, grounding.
sure.
I love strength training for grounding. And my Bulgarian split squats, when I started the program, I had to do them, with no weights at all. And now I can hold 15 pounds, in
Nice.
both hands. So yeah, my strength has really improved. I am still working on my deadlift and my squat, but I'm sort of afraid to go too heavy still. So guess what? That leaves this winter to go there.
Yeah, right. I mean, a new chapter and a new journey, and leaning into that. There's more to do, which is so exciting. And what I really loved seeing throughout this conversation so far is just like how engaged it's been in this process for you. Like you've been so engaged with this. I imagine it's been fun. Has it been fun? I mean, it seems like it's been fun.
Yes. I mean, I love working the programs so specifically and researching and understanding the why of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been really fun for me. I'm not so sure I'm answering your question right now, but
This is perfect.
What you have really taught me through this whole program is patience, like just work the process and be patient with it. And then consistency, really just sticking with it. The other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that I would mess up. I would have days that I would eat the wrong things and things like this. And I learned to just jump back onto the program. So that has been helpful. I pretty much did do everything that you recommended on the program. There were some things that did not work for me. Just a couple.
Let's talk about those specifically.
Okay.
I'd like to know some things that you specifically tried and changed. And I think it's an important lesson for everyone listening to this is like the program is there to help you work it, to find what works for you, which is what you're going to stick to long term. So what did you modify or change, and what did work for you, and what did you kind of shift around?
Sure. So let's start with phase 2. So I was so excited to get rid of Apex and move into Belladonna because I don't know, Apex was so challenging with having to get down on the ground at the end of it to do those renegade rows and push-ups. And I'd like to stay upright. So Belladonna, that was all for me. Like, hello, get your arms up to start. And you pretty much do stay up. So I loved the breath of fresh air on that. Then also moving into phase 3. So then I'm transitioning into phase 3. What's new here? Oh, there's low carb days. Now, you heard me say earlier that I love carbs. So I was like, oh, gee, what is this going to be like? But I trusted you and I said, I'm going to try it. And I found out, wow, I actually have more energy throughout the day when I am low carb. So that was an eye-opening moment for me. And I enjoyed that. And I wasn't very hungry either. So I didn't know that you could have a fun day on low carbs. And then, of course, I love how the next day you have carbs. It's great. It's not gone forever. The other thing I wanted to mention is that in phase 2, now I'm going back to phase 2 because that's the fasting day, the dinner to dinner fast. So I really wanted to do this. I took notes on everything and I had my water, I had my green tea or my non-green teas, and I had a great mindset for it. And I tried it about 3 separate times, but I could not get past noon. So that's just how I am. My brain just starts to not be able to sustain any thoughts, any thoughts that make sense, after that. So that just didn't work for me. But I used the fasting principle. Like I was like, let's have a very small snack, and see how that goes.
Good.
So I took the principle, and that has allowed us to travel so well. I know that fasting is actually not harmful. Before this program, I was trying to eat as soon as I got up so I could, before my workout. I don't do that anymore. I am now fasting all through that workout until, 10:30, 11 o'clock.
And tell people you feel fine doing that, right? And your energy levels feel good. You feel strong. Yeah.
I feel strong. I actually feel better than if I have some food. So it is great. And that you're laser focused and able to do that. Yes. Drink a lot of water. It's always good.
Sure. That's definitely your first tip and message from the beginning is it all starts with that water bottle. And that still seems like a very relevant theme for you now. And I also want to commend you too. I think it's because you took this program in such a detailed, methodical way and you worked all of the phases and you tried so many new things progressively through the phases that you kind of learned a lot and you learned about the why behind it, which connects you emotionally to these habits, which means you're going to stick to them more because you're not just following something random. It's just like there's actual reasons and science and biology behind this. So I'm really proud of you, basically. I just see all the different aspects of how well you approach this and the benefit you get that I clearly see is sustainability, clarity, energy, motivation, strength gains, and a beautiful future of continuing these principles and continuing to adapt this into your evolving life and goals. So deadlifts and squats, perhaps, maybe getting back into 5Ks, maybe getting your husband to run with you, whatever comes down the line. Like you have these tools now, and it just really makes my heart very happy to see all the momentum that you have in your life right now because you put in the work and because you did the learning. As much learning as you did like the physical work. It's one thing to show up to the workouts. It's another thing to really read the material, absorb it, and make this an immersive learning experience. Like that's what I'm really hearing. You made this an immersive time of really like making this a top priority. And that's why it's been such a powerful change in a relatively short period of time.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I have a specific binder with all of my journal entries. At the beginning of the program, you are receiving daily emails and you are recording things. What is your plan? Your reflect. I forget them now. But anyway, now in phase 4, I am doing a Sunday reflection every Sunday. So I do write to myself, what has gone well this week? What challenges do I have coming up this week? What are my meals? What are my exercise? So you have initiated this routine for me every Sunday that I will reflect and plan. And if I take that time, and when I take that time, and I do take that time, I am so much better prepared to live my whole week as a fit mother. And not only that, but to walk into school and then inspire the students there. I tell them how important it is to hydrate. Who else has drunk 32 ounces this morning? I teach this to my students. And I'm not afraid to teach it. And I often want to sub for PE and health because I love this material so much. And I know it's valuable and I want to share it, with the students. And they love it. They're so interested.
And I don't know. I will ask you, like, what does a fit mother mean to you? And I want to answer it, like, for me first. And it's getting yourself on this higher path. And then as a byproduct of you doing that, you're kind of like a lighthouse to those in your family and your community naturally. So what does it mean to you?
Absolutely. I've always wanted to be a role model. I was a Girl Scout leader. I was a coach and now I'm a teacher. And of course I'm a mother. I always wanted to inspire others by not telling them what to do, but rather by role modeling what I'm doing. So that's why this program just came to me at the exact right time. My girls were still home, so I could basically have us all living a healthy lifestyle. And that has been so important to me, to have fitness and be a fit and healthy person. I've always had that as a life goal, to be a healthy, fit person who can, jump up and do something like go running or, I don't know, be involved in some sort of activities. Like when I'm at school and we're doing PE, I also want to have a sense of authority about me. Like I know what I'm talking about because I am there for fitness. So I better look good. If I want to demonstrate a push-up from my toes, I can do that. If I want to do some burpees with them, I do it. I'm all about the warm-ups. I use all your warm-ups for my classes. We do that.
Nice.
The neck
That's
roll.
so good. Yeah.
The hip
Yep.
roll,
Start from the head and then get
squats.
it down. Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
and I got to say too, just like hands down, these kids no way could keep up with you. If we had them doing Apex and with the number of things you've done, I mean, maybe a couple of them that are athletes, but it's just the truth. I mean, but say that in your 50s, smoking teenagers, hands down. And I mean, that's not what it's all about, but it's just facts. Like, you have that level of fitness now because you put it in the work. And I'm really proud of you for that. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yes, it's been great.
Okay, so I want to ask you a couple more questions in closing. Okay. One of them is, I'm wondering if how you feel like this whole Fit Mother lifestyle has related to maybe the spiritual dimension of your life. Have there been any changes on that front, whether it's perspectives or deepenings? And I know you've touched on it in many ways through maybe just your general mindset, but have there been anything that you would feel like is more directly tied to your experience of your spirituality, your faith, whatever that might be, and how this lifestyle is kind of woven into that?
I am a very spiritual person. I practice Quakerism, which is a good religion in Pennsylvania, which is about meditating in silence. But what I would say is that this program has quieted my mind and all the chatter of being unsure what to do. So it has quieted my mind to a point where I can now really be in the present moment with my thoughts. I know what's for dinner. I know what I'm having for a workout, and so it is allowing me to be grateful. If I want to go on a walk, I find myself just being so grateful for my lifestyle. And it's a meditative walk that I have because I'm walking and I'm not listening to music. I'm actually just saying, boy, my life is great. I love this lifestyle. I'm fit, I'm healthy, and I can respond to my family, with compassion. And it's great.
That's super beautiful. I absolutely love that. And my final question for you is there anything you'd like to share with the Fit Mother community? The sisters in the Facebook group that have helped you out and inspired you, or anybody on our team and our staff, or any encouragement perhaps to new Fit Mothers that are just starting out and will listen to this and will be inspired by what you followed. Any ending words of wisdom or just thanks and congratulations? Any shout outs to be made? This is the time.
Yes, I want to do some shout outs. But first, to anybody who's not in this program, you are missing out. Please join us. It is great. For the shout outs, I want to start first with you, Dr. A. Thank you for designing this amazing full service program. It is so great. Secondly, I want to thank Ben for his dedicated answers to our questions. Anytime I am asking a question, which is rarely because everything is in the program, but if I do have a question, he responds with such a thorough, nice answer. Additionally, there's so much camaraderie within our Fit Mother Facebook group. Leading the charge is Amy Spock, and she is amazing. She is always so positive and helpful. I also have shout outs for all these other people. Let's see. Diane, Deb, Steph, Kristen, Jessica, Lauren, Quenna, Robin. So all these people are such strong, fit mothers that I have looked up to. And even Quenna, she started after me, and, I was inspired by her. She was commenting on some of my things. So I kind of felt like I was role modeling for her a little bit. And then now she's role modeling for me. So I'm getting so many tips from so many people. Diane did have words for me. She said on our Zoom call, Polly, you don't need that wine and chocolate. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's right.
And that's coming from Diane. And she has that with authority, because there was a point in her life where she really believed she needed that wine. So that's saying something.
She can tell me anything. She is very wise, that woman. Very wise and resilient. So advice, I would say, this program really taught me how to trust my gut and stick with the program. Stick with plan A, Dr. Anthony's plan. Just stick with it. It has all the answers, really. You may not take everything, at the beginning. Just take things all along the way, keep practicing them, start integrating more and more things into your life. And it's just incredible. It's very spiritual.
Well, Polly, on that note, I'd say that's the mic drop. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of our entire Fit Mother Project team and this community for working this program, for making such amazing changes, and for having the courage to come share this today, because I know this conversation is going to help many people. And just, you're awesome, and your energy is infectious. And it's just so clear that you are full of life and love and happiness, and you have a bright future ahead. So thanks so much for coming on the Fit Mother Project podcast. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I could use a few more hours. I have like so much more to say. But no, I know. Thank you, Dr. A. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, Polly. Thank you.